Since its introduction 10 years ago, the Sukhoi Su-35 fighter jet has remained a mainstay for the Russian Air Force. Currently, around 115 Su-35 units are still serving at a number of Russian Air Force bases. This air superiority fighter jet is also still one of the best non-stealth fighter jets and rivals many fourth-generation fighter jets from the West. The Su-35 has a long and winding development history dating back to the last years of the Soviet Union. In the 1980s, the Soviet Union's aircraft industry began upgrading the Sukhoi Su-27 into a more advanced aircraft with the latest avionics, engine, and aerodynamic improvements. This new fighter entered production in 1988 and was planned to be called the Su-27M, but suddenly the name was changed to the Su-35. However, the project stalled due to lack of funding after the collapse of the Soviet Union. The project to build this fighter jet stopped in 1995, with only 3 serial models being produced. Russia then modernized the Su-35 again to catch up with the weapons technology gap that emerged between aircraft produced during the Soviet Union that were starting to age and fourth-generation fighters from the West. Modernization of the Su-35 began in 2000 and gave birth to another variant, namely the Su-35S. Technically, the Russian Air Force actually operates the S-35S. In 2007, Sukhoi announced it would produce the latest Su-35 for the Russian Air Force, showcasing a number of striking design features. The Su-35 carries the Saturn AL-41 F1S engine, which is capable of supporting supercruising, or the ability to maintain supersonic flight without using afterburners. The latest Su-35 does not carry canards, small wings in front of the main wings, like previous variants. However, it was replaced by a thrust vectoring nozzle that contributed to the gain of impressive maneuverability in certain dogfighting or air combat scenarios. Meanwhile, the Su-35S underwent a major avionics overhaul, including a digital fly-by-wire flight control system, ERBIS phased array radar, and an onboard infrared search and track (IRST) system. No less important for its air superiority role, the Su-35 offers an offensive electronic countermeasures (ECM) suite that can disrupt the F-16's AIM-120 AMRAAM and similar air-to-air missiles. However, what makes the Su-35 truly superior to competitors in its class, such as the F-22 Raptor, is its payload capacity and versatility, capable of carrying a wide array of weapons spread across 12 hardpoints. The improved R-74 short-range air-to-air missile offers a range of 40 to 45 kilometers and supports off-bore sight fire. That means Su-35 pilots can target enemy aircraft by looking at them through their helmets within a certain field of view. Apart from that, what differentiates the Su-35 from many air superiority fighters that have a similar position is that this fighter jet is capable of ground bombardment. Initially, the Su-35 was intended as a temporary solution to meet Russia's air superiority needs until the 5th-generation Su-57 entered service. However, the Su-35 has apparently proven itself to be a very formidable fighter aircraft. The initial performance gap between the upcoming Su-57 and the current Su-35 is expected to be relatively small, especially until the Su-35 begins to be fitted with the latest ISDLI-30 engines. Considering its consistently impressive performance, cost-effectiveness, and role versatility, it is unlikely that Moscow will try to aggressively ground the Su-35. In fact, the Su-35 will probably remain in service when the dozens of Su-57s in production projected to enter service over the next few decades arrive.